Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Cameras, please. Camera. I promise I won't call on you. I can't make that promise. All right. Hi. All right. So this class did not go as I expected it to go. And what I mean by that is um, we didn't move as fast into the text as I thought we were going to. And I think that's okay. I think we're just going to take 20 years now to finish the text. We'll all be old, sitting in our rocking chairs. Um, Natalia's like, no. So, so what I'd like, oh, cool. Um, all of our children will be translating by the time we get done. This will be great. So what I'd like to offer all of you right now is um, between this term and the next one, where we're just going to pick up where we left. I'm going to have Francisco and team put up all the text. I know some of it's up there. And if you're interested in practicing translation, we're going to give you a deadline of 2 weeks to work on it. And then I will read through everything. And by the time the next term starts, we'll have a preliminary translation for the first couple folio pages. That what I'll do is then I'll submit it to Geshe Michael and say, hey, this is what we all did together. And see what he does. I'd be like, what, that's how he's like, whatever. That's what he does to me. Like when I do something and I give it to him, he's like, you know. So, but yes, we will eventually be publishing these books together. And it's not a requirement to do it if you're not interested. It's okay, because the content is interesting enough. But I'll get all that information to Francisco. I have it all ready to go. So then you can go in, do a pre-translation. It'll be due by April 1st. And then I will take that. I will read them. I will try to provide some feedback the best I can. And then we'll be putting together from all of your notes. I will compare it with my notes and put together a translation of that first part. Let's see, you can join the class. Someone asked me when my class was over, and I'm like, you should come to class and watch. Okay. I can't give you more time because the next class starts at the end of April. I got to work on the translation. It's okay. We never have enough time in this life anyway, so let's just get used to it. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be finishing the first section. We have a couple lines left in the first section. And then we're going to start the second class for good luck. So we're basically planting seeds for the next time. All right. So let's get started here. For projection. Here are my notes here, which you can't see, which is fine. All right, here we go. I think we did this line last time, but I want to start here anyway. Thank you, Roxana, for translating. It's good to see you. We're going to start with The amazing Persis Lee. And we're going to start here with this Kachik.
Kachik rak to you chap
Keb.
แคบยางตาตงถงตกยองหลักปะเจียวจงแฉกผาหนียุงแจกไว้นายิงแสก
All right, so J-Way. Here we go. J-Way.
เจไว้
And this is Nay.
ในยิง
All right.
แสก
Shay.
เฉย
Yes. Okay, so we're in a section right now where the writer, Trijang Rinpoche, is summing up a section. And oftentimes, lamas will tell random stories. And he's like, all right, I will just give you one line of a story, which, Pamonka Rinpoche probably told about. It probably was 5 or 10 minutes, maybe, I kind of imagine. Excuse me. So I know we talked about this, but I want to go through it again because I think it's important. Okay. So where are we? Kachik ge cook to. Okay. Someone who became old. All right. That's pretty much what that says. Right. So even if that person has some kind of is pursuing the sense objects, okay, we still need to have compassion for them. That's basically what this is saying. Like, even if someone is old and we still see them doing things and blah, 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 we should have compassion for them. We shouldn't judge people that are still in some kind of attraction to the sense objects. Why? Because we all are ourselves. Okay. Don't judge others, first of all. Okay. And so the question here really is, what is, are we? We're working on the different kinds of meditation, the causes to have a good meditation practice. Right? And some of the causes to have good meditation practice are removing our attraction to just the normal worldly objects in the world. That's redundant. Sorry, translators. In the sense of like, it's like being like a squirrel or a dog. Like, dog's running around the park and is like, right? Like, squirrel, right? Ball, other dog, right? They're constantly like, right? All over the place. And they're just being attracted by those things, like, oh, it's beautiful outside, or that person's outside, or like, oh, look at the cake over there. There is cake over there. Okay, right? And so we're in this section where it's basically saying, don't be attracted to these things. But he's also saying, don't judge other people when they're attracted to them. And I think that's a really interesting point. Like, if you're judging other people based on their behavior, do you think you're going to have a good meditation? Maybe, but I think is an important part of the story that's, that he's saying is, like, even though people have become old, and they just become accustomed to that, don't judge them, right? Actually have compassion for them. Why should you have compassion for them? That's another aspect. because that person's not able to meditate. Okay. Right. We should have compassion for people that are stuck in their, I just like to say, stuck in their own BS. Translators, good luck. Like they're just stuck in their own self. Like, and it's very hard to meditate when you're obsessing over yourself. And I'm not saying like, self-centered, like, and that's not what we're talking about. Is that there's these subtle things that we do that prevent us from meditating. And we should have compassion on others when we see that they're doing it. And then you can think about why. All right. I will not call on you, Laura, because you're walking down the street. Although it could be really cool to force you to stop and read
Thank
something.
you, please not.
And force you to read Tibetan in front of like, all the random people around you. It would be a good seed for them. How about Angel? We haven't heard from Angel for a while. Oh, she's pretending not to move. She's blinking. I know she's. You want to read? No? Okay. All right. Next time. Anastasia. We'll start here.
Pupo depe Shingu norbu niepakyalpo salgal. La tene kyoyu chodirdo pache shu pu shoin shijotsu dan.
Good. Okay. So here's another story that he's telling us. What does he say? So a bulpo is kind of a, we can think like a vagabond or like a poverty-stricken person, someone who's basically begging for their food every day. All right. And he had what's a Yishingi Norbu? Does anyone know? What's a Norbu? You can scream out. I don't know. That's okay. It's a wish-giving gem. All right. So he had one of those things and he gave it to somebody named Prasenajit, something like that. Okay. And he gave it to the king. And he said to the king that you have the greatest desire of all in Dupache, right? But you are the poorest of them all. Okay. What does this mean? So this guy, poor guy in the street, happens to have a wish-giving gem, right? Using, this magical object, which could help him get out of poverty, he gives it to the king. And then he gives it to the king and then says to the king, oh, wonderful, you're mad. You have the greatest desire in all the land. Probably meaning, you want to take care of everybody, but yet you're the poorest. What do you think that means? In relationship to the causes and conditions for meditation. Do I have to give away money? for you guys to answer. What about keeping your wants few? Maybe. Here's this guy who looks like he doesn't have anything. He has a wish-giving gem, which could give him everything he wants. And so it gives it to His Highness, Your Majesty, and says, you have the best, you have the biggest desire of all in this entire land. Yet you're the poorest of them all. All right, I'm going to let you all think about it. You guys can think about that story. No, now we're getting some answers. Okay. I mean, it's a lot of times what it means to you, right? Like the poor guy is actually the richest and the richest guy is the poorest. Like what creates those riches for you? What doesn't create those riches? That's what Pavanka Rinpoche is saying. All right, next line, next little story. How about Natalia Pashutina?
Jebe pa guru chokilo gu kachung
Che,
ke
che.
che
Yep. So, okay.
so
This is the technical spelling of Geshe. So like Geshe, Geshe-la, right? That's the Geshe. That's how you spell Geshe. So some guy named Geshe Ben, no idea who he is. There's a story in where is it? It's in a sutra. It's on an uncatalogued sutra that we have. So basically, all that it's saying here is Pavanka Rinpoche told the story of Geshe Ben and his preparations for a trip. Okay. Okay, that's all that he said. That's all that Trijang Rinpoche said. Just told the story of Geshe Ben's preparations for a trip. And that was it. So we have to go find out what this really means. So basically, while everyone's getting ready to go, this guy, Geshe Ben, the only thing he took, imagine, I'm going to Kyoto on Friday. I have a big suitcase of stuff. I have all my clothes, I have all my toiletries, I have all my medicines, I have all the things that I need as the just in case. Well, I don't usually take this medicine, but if I need it, then I'll take this cream because if my knee starts hurting, and I'll take this thing to wrap my knee in, and I'm going to take this thing which helps my back, which is this cool little thing. I'll show you guys, right? This cool little thing, I put it on my back, and you put this on it, and it puts electrical things through my back, and the muscles get better, right? I'll bring some cookies, as offerings. I'll bring some money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to bring the manuals for the class that we're going to have, right? Shove those into the suitcase. Don't forget your suit, Tim. Don't forget your underwear. What else do I need? I'll bring some gloves just in case it's too cold. Maybe some sunscreen. What else do I need for my trip? Maybe I bring my cat, put my cat in the suitcase because I miss my cat. When you're making preparations for a trip, like there's a lot of things to do. But this Geshe only took his robes, which he was wearing, and he took a water pot with him. Here's the modern day version of the water pot. Okay. Right. That's all he took on his trip. Didn't take anything else. He said he would figure out the rest along the way. Oh yeah, I need my credit cards too, so I can buy dinner and things like that, right? So if I think about all the things I need to take on my trip to Kyoto on Friday, and then this monk, this Geshe, is like, I'm just gonna bring the water with me. I only need one robes. I don't need 10 different robes. Well, Geshe, you're going to be gone for 10 days. Your robes are going to start smelling. What about your underwear? Do you even wear underwear under those robes? Just kidding. Who knows, right? Like, I certainly am not going to go to Kyoto for 3 weeks without a lot of underwear. But no, he didn't do any of that. He just took his pot of water with him. And it's a metaphor, and it's a idea of like, what do you need to take with you when you meditate or when you're doing anything? I mean, what if I took just 3 underwear? 1 suit, 1 pair of pants, 1 t-shirt, and I just washed it every night. Maybe I could do that. My suitcase will be lighter, But that's not the point. The point is really, what are you taking, what's in your mind and you're taking it into meditation. Having less things creates less distraction. And then usually what happens when I go on these trips, I end up taking too much stuff, and I didn't need all the stuff that I took. And I schlepped all this stuff around the world, overweight luggage and all this other stuff, but I didn't actually need it. It's like, well, just in case I need it. Then I need my nice clothes for dinner. Or what if I meet someone and want to go on a date? Or I have to look in a certain way, Oh, I need to shave, I gotta do all these things, right? How many of the things, I think the point of this story is how many of the things we do are just useless wastes of time. Like, how many things do I really need 20 different button-down shirts? Do I really need 30 t-shirts? By the way, I have enough underwear that I can go on a trip without having to wash. Okay. I don't want to wash. So I bring 30 pairs of underwear. Right. And then I get another bag and I put the dirties in, I have a system for it. But the point is, like, do I really need 30? Or if I took 5 and then just wash them, right? Anyway. But it's really not about that. It's about being prepared for meditation. It's being prepared for creating the causes to have a good meditation. And part of that is really, how much stuff do you really need? Go into your house, invite Marie Kondo, the Japanese house expert organizer, and then just get rid of the things you don't need. You don't need as much stuff. The more stuff you have, the more stuff that breaks. The more stuff you think about. If you thought about everything in your house, you could find everything. And that's just taking up space in your house, in your mind, the house of your mind. You see. All right, moving on. I think I beat that horse to death. Let's move on to the next line. How about Francisco? Favor de leer esta frase.
Duth palason parnam tong yu sus pab yon sus pab ban
Yongsuk Pangwa.
yon sus pangwa
Mhm.
doth pene migda fade sur san na
Nay.
ne de nala lo paste.
Good. Nice job. Okay. So there's 2 grammatical things I want you all to pay attention to. Oftentimes the word ni it means the subject. Everything before it can mean the subject of a sentence. It sometimes can mean directly is in English. But everything before that is the subject. Does anyone recognize this line? Well, maybe recognize the line. Now we're going to discuss the sixth condition of getting ready for meditation, which is giving up Pangwa, Yongsu, completely, thinking, or having in your mind desire and the rest, meaning desires objects of the senses and worldly pleasure. That's what all of that means together. So now we're on the sixth condition officially. Yay! That means that we're wrapping up this section. Another word to pay attention to here is te, which is kind of a continuation article, meaning that the next sentence is actually connected to it. And like there's still more information to come. And so the problems. Okay. So we need to give up. We need to overcome our attraction, dedak, our attraction to the desires, objects, and senses, which is a nice short form of that. And we need to think of, by thinking, we need to think of two major things, the things that help us get over, like having too many things to pay attention to. First thing is, we kind of talked about it, is nemic, the problems associated, disadvantages of having this attraction. Okay. So we kind of went through that. Like what happens when you're, and Pabonka Rinpoche started with it a bit, but what happens when you're too attracted to the things that you see, taste, all those other things? What happens when you're too intense in that, right? And that can't help you with your meditation. It takes you away from it. And especially when you think about deep meditation is also about the withdrawal of the senses. In the classical example that we use, that if you're in a deep state of meditation and someone comes up to you and says something to you or puts a French fry under your nose, you won't hear them, you won't smell the French fry. That's how good your meditation gets, because you become so focused inwardly. And that's a process. It doesn't just happen. But when it does happen, it's really freaking cool. You're like, oh, that's what they mean by that. Like there's a feeling that happens where the I don't want to say collapse isn't the right word. But the senses just start shutting down. Like they might, and who knows if the sounds are still, so it's actually the question, if you can't hear the sound, was the sound there, right? If a tree falls in a forest and no one was there to hear it, did the tree still make a sound? The senses start, it feels like a withdrawal. It feels like I don't know how to explain it. It's a feeling where things just kind of close in, but not in a claustrophobic way. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you're constantly out in the world and you're like, you're paying attention to all these other things, which are useful at times, you're not going to be able to go into deep meditation. But as you get deeper and deeper into it and you start withdrawing, then you can really do some cool stuff in the meditation, because then there's nothing that's distracting you. Well, at least outwardly. So that's the first thing to think about, is the disadvantages of not. The second thing to consider is mitakpa. Does anyone know what mitakpa means? The opposite of mitakpa is takpa. It's probably not helpful. We're using this in the sense of takpa means, without the me, takpa means unchanging. Like an unchanging thing, something that's not changing. Or mitakpa, not changing, not unchanging, right? Which is literally what it means, is a changing thing. Okay. So mitakpa means changing, not unchanging, which is kind of a cool, if you think about it, if you want to be a nerd. But what it means is thinking about the impermanence of your own life. The fact that your life has a beginning and will have an end. So somehow giving up being attracted to worldly desires and sense desires and worldly objects, sense objects and worldly desires, maybe both. Thinking about the problems with it, which we just did, and thinking about your own death, that your death will come, somehow should motivate you to meditate. And you can think about why. Next line. We're now finishing up the section. Yay! Who wants the good karma of reading this? Who wants the good karma of finishing up our very first section? Oh man. Is no one raising their hand? I'm going to choose you, Ksenia. You get the good karma of finishing up the very first section.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Dena ri sok di da sanva
Sangwa. Sangwa.
sanva
Uh-huh.
sanva chi is zon
Sunpe.
sonpe srubna
Mm-hmm.
chi na
Shine.
shine krupa la
This one's not obvious. Dawa. It's a more.
dawa
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
dawa dragda mi korpa sun
Mingorwar Sung.
mingorwa sun.
Right. Okay. This is motivating and depressing for most of us. Okay. So from there, furthermore, if we make great efforts in all of those six, all of those conditions, okay? All of those causal conditions, like putting all of those causes together, right? If we make good efforts in those, all right? We work hard at sunpa, and we achieve each one of those six. What are the six? What's the first one? What's the first cause of meditation, the first preliminary? Exactly, Persis, a safe place. What's the second one? Desires low, less desire, right? Keeping your wants few. Okay, what's number three? Right, be satisfied with what you have. Correct. What's number four? right? Don't be too busy. Number 5. That's right. Lead an ethical life. And number 6, which we just learned. Withdrawing your senses, not being attracted to your sense objects in the world. Cool. If you do all of those things, all right, if we do all of those things, you will, okay, so we're Min Gorwar, you will not be delayed. It will not take more than, Druk means 6, Dawa means moons. Translate into normal life. It will not take half a year, right? It won't take more than it within 6 months. That's a good translation. If you do all 6 of these things and you make great efforts and you achieve these 6 things and you do these 6 things within 6 months, you will achieve Shine. There we are. Shamatha. That is that's pretty motivating, right? If you do all of those things and you do all of those things well, within 6 months, you can you can achieve single-pointed meditation with all the other qualities of shamatha. That's pretty, it's right, 6 months. That's pretty amazing. It's also freaking depressing because I know many people meditate for a long time and they never make shamatha in 6 months. So here's the one of the greatest lamas of the 20th century saying, if you did this well, you could do it in 6 months. So good luck. You can do that. You can do those things. And what's interesting is those 6 things, they seem easy to describe. I think some of them are a lot harder to do. And I think that if you really did them well by taking care of other people, you could achieve these higher states really quickly. All right, so here we go. Yay, we finished the first section. That's wonderful. Moving on to the second section, Nipa. So the first section was all about how to get ready for meditation. Now we're going to do Shine Drupsu Nuni. We're now going to do the actual method for reaching shamatha. So the first section was all about getting ready for meditation. And that's your homework between now and the next class. Get yourself ready, Laura, for meditation. Keep your wants few, right? Satisfied with what you have, Laura. Don't be attracted to the sense objects while you're walking down the street. Okay? Right? Keep it few. Do all of those things. You know, so when we actually start meditating, which you already should be meditating, then you may be able to get some of these higher goals very quickly. Don't be distracted by too much ACI work, Francisco. Right? Keep your desires few. Right, there we go. Your homework, reach shamatha. Do the 6 conditions. All right, so we're going to start the second part here for good luck. Here's the actual way to achieve shamatha, Shine Drup. All right, I'm just going to do this line too. Utale, from the sutra, which is something like, I couldn't find it exactly. We've never translated, but it's something that it's distinguishing the extreme views from the middle way views. Ooh, okay. This is just a short version of the title. So from this sutra, Uta, which is also the name of one of our German people, is Uta here? Uta, now you know you're named after a sutra. She's not here today. I'm gonna let her know that. Uta. She's named after a sutra. Next time you see her, that's a good spiritual name, distinguishing extreme views from the middle way. All right, good. Let's see here. Who wants to read? This is in poetry, so don't forget how to read in poetry. How about Anastasia? Oh, you already read. Let me see someone else who hasn't read yet. How about Maria? Just these first two lines.
Nepa ga pontuche yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ten pa le tung out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's something wrong here with this quote. I have to go look at it. It's not entirely in verse because this has 7 syllables. This one is only 6. So I have to go look. I have to go look for that. Hey, why don't we go looking for it right now? Let's go look for it right now. Let's stop. Let's stop sharing the screen. Let's get some gopher up. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. All right. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find this. This will be depressing if I can't. Here we go. Okay. Oops. Here's the line. Okay, this is the second line. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for both these lines. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look for this first line, and we're going to look for, let's just put it 2, within 2 lines of this next one, even though they technically should be in the same spot. Let's check the Kangyur. Let's see what happens. Looking through the whole Kangyur. One match. Why aren't you showing on my screen? Let's try it again. It makes sense that there's only one match if it's in a sutra. Nope. Okay. Well, my gopher is not displaying things correctly. Let's try it one more time. Let me not be too embarrassed, and this is why this game is so much fun, to figure out where this stuff lives in the text. Within. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that's the idea. Oh, that's an interesting suggestion. That maybe they're considering it too. That's interesting. Maybe they're considering it too. Let's see. Let's look in the Tangyur. This is interesting. It's not showing up. Let's change let's see search preference. Oh gosh, I'm not showing you guys what I'm doing. Try it again. Let's just search for this first line. If I put the first line in, and now we're looking for this line in the Kangyur. Not there. Sweet. Let's check the sumbung. There's the line. There's the line again. So again, there it is. Here's the whole thing right here. Let me guess. Is this the text that we're doing? No. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on a second. Okay, nope. All right. Okay, so here's the line appearing in, this is appearing in a Mahamudra commentary in the Secret Teachings. Let's see what else. Here it is again in the commentary. That commentary. Yeah, so it's technically, it's technically quoted. Oh, that's a nice slow prayer there. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's interesting that he's saying that it's in a sutra, but it's actually in the sumbung. I gotta go figure this out. Oh, this is in my book. This is nice. This is a direct quote in my book. Chidun, no, this is in the Chidun, not the Tatra. This is in Kedrup Tempa Darge's Perfection of Wisdom in the Chidun in the overview. Okay, that's cool. No. Okay, so the line's there. It's quoted correctly, but it's not in sutra. So we're gonna have to go looking for that. Welcome to getting lost in reading text. It's like going into a YouTube hole, but it's going into Gopher. All right, anyway, let's go back to this. It's quoted correctly. We're just not sure why it's, what the actual story is. I'll find the actual story and get back to you. I'll find the story before we start the next class. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for reading that, Marina. So we must give up Hong, the 5 problems of meditation. Nepana, the five problems, okay? By relying upon Tenpa Duche Ge, which means by cultivating or relying upon the 8 antidotes. So we're starting the next section, and we're talking about how do we actually achieve shamatha. We're going to learn about the 5 problems of meditation, and we're going to learn about the Duche Ge, the 8 antidotes to those 5 problems. All right. And here we go. Here are the 5 problems. And who would like, this is a very powerful line to read. So we're going to choose Kristen. So remember when you're reading poetry that it has a meter. It's like bum 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 bum, and then the last 3 syllables. So in this case, it's lelo dangni damnak nam. So it's like 2 2 or 3. Or if there's 9 syllables, it's 2 2 2 3. If it's 11, it's 2 2 2 2 2 3. You see, so it's 2s and then the last 3 go together. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah, just try. Just make noises. It's okay.
Okay. Lelo, Dangni,
Huh?
Damnak, Ram, Nam.
Yeah. Nice. Good job.
Predang, Jingdang, Gok, Pedang.
Nice.
Dumi, Jedang, Dubie, Jede. Dedang, Nupa, Lingdodo.
Nice. Dedak Nepan Nardun Narndudu. Nandodo. Sorry.
Nandodo.
Nice. Okay, it's hard. All right. So what does this mean? There are 5 problems. Good job. 5 problems. First problem, lelo. We typically translate that as laziness. Problem number 1 of meditation is laziness, which really means you walk by your meditation cushion and you're like, I'll do that tomorrow. What better day to start than to start tomorrow? Mañana. Right? That's the first problem. We'll talk about these. Second problem, nam nak nam. J. Forgetting the instructions, forgetting the personal advices. Dam nak nam. Forgetting the instructions that your teacher gave you, which in simple terms means they gave you an object to meditate on, and then you thought about pizza. Or you thought about the problem you had last week. Or you thought about the person that irritated you. That's what it means to forget the instructions. It just means you forgot how to stay on the object because you did something else. Jingwa and Gupa means dullness and agitation. So Jingwa, is it Jingpa or Jingwa? Let me look this up. Yes, Jingwa. Jingwa and Gupa. Jingwa means dullness. Gupa means agitation. So busy mind and dull mind. This is one problem, even though it looks like 2. And there's a debate in Kamala Shila, in the original Kamala Shila he separated the 2 into 2 problems versus 1 problem. So we'll debate that a little bit later when we get into it. All right, so first problem, lelo, means mañana. You just do it mañana, which means you never do it. Second one means you forget the instructions, you don't stay on the object. The third problem is you have dull mind or busy mind. The fourth one is dumiche, which means you do nothing when you need to do something. Dumiche means doing nothing, not acting, not doing something. So when you have a problem, you don't fix the problem. And the last part, like duce, means doing something when you shouldn't do something. Like the problem of meditation is you do something, you apply a fix when you didn't need to apply a fix. So these are kind of fun, is like problem 4 is you don't, and duce means you overcorrect. You correct something that doesn't need to be corrected. And these are the 5 problems of meditation. Here's na, 5 problems. Dedak, these, everything above. And then I'm not sure what to do with this yet. Oh, just to be claiming yet. These are, right, this is the verb. These are the 5 problems of meditation. So you can think about that if you've never been introduced to it. What are those 5 problems? And then this last line, we've actually already translated it because I translated it before, earlier on because of the sentence, is that our Lama said, Sung, we need to rely upon the 8 antidotes, nen por duce gye, to the 5 problems. And then this she is a quotation marker closer for the verses above. Cool. So now we have moved into the second section. What are the 5 problems and the 8 antidotes after you've done the 6 preliminaries to meditation? Yay! Congratulations. We're now on our way. The 5th one is not doing something, or the 5th one, I'm sorry, the 5th problem is doing something when you shouldn't do it. Giannina. Meaning when your meditation's going really well and you're like, I had this happen to me. Like this is, so I know exactly what this is like. I was having a beautiful meditation in deep retreat. It's probably like 2 to 3 weeks in, which is where the deepest part of the retreat is. You know, cool, like very, very good meditation. And some cool things started happening. And instead of just allowing, I was like, something happened where the experience wasn't exactly how it was described in the text, except I hadn't read the part of the text where it said, oh yeah, it could be this other way too. It was like, it could be this way or that way. I didn't read the other part, right? So as this experience was happening, and it was like, it was really, you know, I was in it. I was like, oh my God, I'm not following this. Bam. And it threw me out. Literally, it was like gone. And then I'm like, so irritated with myself. I'm like, I interrupted a beautiful experience by applying the 5th problem. Don't fix it if there's not a problem. Right? You know, but it was more of a, I think it was also part of a lesson of understanding, like there was a deeper message in it for me. And it was, part of it was this, but you know, part of it, so I didn't understand, sometimes things happen in meditation before you get all the instructions, because seeds, right? And so, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you don't know it's not broke until you don't know, or until you know. Either. Get it? You know, but it was a good lesson. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just use this later as don't correct something that's going fine. Right. And it's a good lesson for us in life in general. Like if you think about, like if we apply this to our lives, like sometimes people look for problems where there aren't any problems. Right. Like I've seen it happen. Laura's like, so yo, this is me. Right. Because it's like you're looking for a problem that's not there. Like I remember I was dating someone, this was years ago. I was like 20 something. And I was like complaining to one of my friends and worried about something. And they were like, Tim, there actually isn't a problem. You're just making a problem, but you're so used to having problems that you're just trying to correct for something that's not there. So part of our meditation you have to learn when it's time to stop. When is it time to stop worrying about the bad seeds you planted? Obsessing over the person. Like, when is it time to stop? When is it time to just say, let it go and just let it happen? Right? You know, and we talked about it earlier on in the text, which is a great place for it to end. You know, Pagonka Rinpoche gave us the advice that sometimes let's just stop thinking and let's just have some fun. It's okay to not be so focused on your morality and all these things and planting good seeds. Just be a good person and just let go and just enjoy your life. Go take someone out special to dinner. Spend extra money, right? You know, treat them special and just have a good time at it. Don't worry about planting good seeds or bad seeds. just, just enjoy your practice. Like really, I think part of what he's saying here is just enjoy. Like, I think we take things too seriously. Don't become one of those serious Dharma practitioners, in your faces, like you come out of meditation and like the older you get, the longer the wrinkles stay. I don't know if you've noticed. Like if I get really super concentrated or irritated and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, I've relaxed, but like my skin right here just like stays popping out. Do any of you older people have this problem? I just noticed this last year, right? You younger kids, there we go. Ksenia has it. Just do it. Like you younger folk get it yet, but you will one day, right? It just sticks there. Don't be one of those people. Like smooth out your forehead, put some cream on it, whatever. That's going to fix the problem. Just enjoy yourself. Smile more, get the wrinkles on your face from smiling, not from scowling. All right. Like have good, have like, have what English? It's, when you have like smile lines around your eyes, there's a word for it. I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, if your face is going to get old anyway, might as well get old happy. Get it? Right? Like, don't get old grumpy. You're getting old anyway. Might as well enjoy it. Enjoy the things, like enjoy the stuffs, enjoy the ups and downs of life. And then if you take these 6 conditions and you really start applying each of them, we call it crow's feet as well. When you apply those 6 things, make that your practice over the next month or so. What things do you have too much of? Keeping your desires few. Notice when you're overstimulated. And help each other with that. And then your meditations will get, and then the instructions that we're going to do in the next class are going to be all about what you do when you're in meditation. All that other stuff is just to get your butt on the cushion. If you can't get your butt on the cushion, then the rest of the stuff is just useless. Right? If you're sitting down, then the rest of it's just, it's like baking a birthday cake for no one's birthday. Okay. But if you can sit down, then you can have the birthday cake. So let's work on those 6. And then when we get into meditation, the instructions are really, really beautiful, because when you get there and you touch those things, then you know exactly what they're talking about. And you go, oh, that's what they meant by that. That's what they meant by dullness. That's what they meant by subtle dullness. That's what they meant by this. That's what they meant by don't correct it when it's going well, Tim. Oh, you were about to see emptiness directly, but you thought about something else, dummy. I don't know. I don't think so. But you know what I'm saying? Like you get knocked out, right? How depressing would that be? Like, you go into your next life and like, why didn't you see emptiness directly? Well, because I overcorrected the meditation. Right? You just know, you know when it's time to let go. And that's my message for you today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Really, really appreciate all of this. This is fun. This is a really fun class for me. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And Francisco, I think Francisco has, or someone else has a message for you guys, sort of some logistical things. And I'm going to take off. And
Please stay.
I know what you're doing, and I can't stay. It's uncomfortable. I'll stay my best, but I'm going to go stay my best over here.
Please at least listen to us, okay? Well, want to say thank you for all the precious teachings you share with us for all your generosity and efforts to help us to break this cycle. So please, please, please stay with us. Please teach us. And I'm inviting everyone to say thank you on your languages, like we always do. And if you have inspiration in your heart to express your honor in material form too, we have a QR code, Francisco. But, yeah, so let's open our mics and share our hearts with big thank you.
Gracias,
Thank
Tim.
you, Tim Lam.
Happy birthday.
Danke,
Danke.
danke. Thank you for your
谢谢老师，感谢老
Thank
师。
you.
Thank you. Teachers.
Danke, Tim.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Thank you so much. Good night.
Bye bye, Marina.